We have yet another reason to be grateful that the US broke free from the UK. And I'm not talking about mushy peas. Welcome to America Uncovered. I'm Chris Chappell. I still can't believe it's already 2025. Almost 6 years since Jeffrey Epstein definitely 100% unalived himself. And we still have no idea who Epstein's billionaire clients are. Zip, nada, zilch, zero. The Browns' chance of winning a Super Bowl. The US, of course, isn't the only country with grooming problems. The UK has it as well. And I'm not talking about Boris Johnson's hair making him look like the world's oldest emo scene kid. In particular, there seems to be a problem with Pakistani grooming gangs raping young girls. That's the sound of YouTube burying this episode. Subscribe to our new premium website, AmericaUncovered.tv. This has caught the attention of Elon Musk. He and many others believe that the UK government is covering up the crimes of these grooming gangs in the name of diversity and political correctness, which is terrible because prosecuting them would give opportunities to diverse lawyers. But hey, why do actually something good when you can do nothing and claim it's good? Musk went hard by specifically calling out the UK's Minister for Safeguarding, Jess Phillips. He called her a rape genocide apologist who refuses to investigate rape gangs and deserves to go to prison. Although if UK politicians went to prison for not doing their jobs, English prisons would be even more crowded than American prisons. Musk said all this after seeing reports of Phillips rejecting calls for a government inquiry into grooming gangs in Oldham, a town near Manchester in England. Her reasoning? It should be up to the Oldham Council to do the inquiry locally rather than for the government to intervene. This is odd behavior coming from someone that's a self-described feminist. It's also odd considering her full title is Parliamentary Undersecretary of State for Safeguarding and Violence Against Women and Girls. I guess she still doesn't fully understand her role, even though her role is literally spelled out in her cartoonishly long title. Many can't help but wonder if she's doing it simply to avoid offending her very large Muslim voting bloc in Birmingham and Yardley. Phillips wasn't the only target for Musk. He also criticized UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer, claiming that he was complicit in the rape of Britain while he was Director of Public Prosecutions. The mainstream media, being the Musk critics they are, were quick to claim that Musk was trolling the UK. They also say he's misjudged the situation and is misinformed, and that he's supporting the far right, with Wired claiming Musk is boosting disinformation and divisive rhetoric, and pushing the narrative that organized child sex abuse is carried out almost exclusively by Muslim men. Even though that's not what Musk is saying. Musk is actually arguing that the UK government is letting political correctness get in the way of stopping Pakistani grooming gangs. But hey, it's not like it's a journalist's job to accurately report the news or anything. Which reminds me, the moon is made of cheese. That's why NASA has never been back. So, are fears of Pakistani grooming gangs overblown? Well, the government certainly wants people to think so. Many point to this 2020 Home Office report as evidence. They especially focus on the part that says it's likely that no one community or culture is uniquely predisposed to sexual exploitation. What a way to take a firm stance. Forget believe all women, it's more important to believe all government reports. Now, The Guardian was quick to herald this as ultimate proof that grooming gangs are not a Pakistani Muslim problem, and also points to the part that says UK child sexual abusers are mostly white. But the way that's framed is pretty deceptive. Of course, there'd be more white sexual abuse gangsters in a majority white country. But the stats show that Asians make up a disproportionately high number of offenders, something the MSM conveniently forgot to mention. As a matter of fact, a 2022 study found that Muslims, particularly Pakistanis, dominate group child sexual exploitation prosecutions. To show just how prolific this issue really is, the study found that 1 in 73 Muslim men between 1997 and 2017 were charged in connection to group localized child sexual exploitation in the city of Rotherham alone. Let me repeat, 1 in 73. That's like going to a crowded restaurant and learning one person in there is a violent criminal. Of course, the odds of that increase if you're in a Waffle House. But if you think that's bad, It is, but in another city, Banbury, it's 1 in 59. And for all we know, things might actually be worse. According to both the 2020 Home Office report and a 2022 independent inquiry, getting an accurate picture is practically impossible thanks to flawed data collection. UK police don't record ethnicity most of the time. Some even tamper with the data, such as by removing girls from monitoring lists because, the victims were pregnant or had given birth. Who knew that all you needed to do to solve your problems is to just make the data say that you don't have them? There's a massive grooming gang cover-up in the UK. Just as people in the US are uncomfortable with bringing up minority crime, fearing that it'll make minorities look bad, people in the UK are doing the same for Pakistanis and Muslims. They don't want to perpetuate negative stereotypes of groups they consider marginalized, which explains why so many headlines, and even some articles themselves, don't mention ethnicity. You'd have no idea that the headlines were mostly talking about Pakistanis, unless you carefully read through many articles and looked at the mugshots. And of course, no one reads past the headlines these days, because who has the time to read more than 11 words? Turns out UK elites don't like it when people talk so much about Pakistani grooming gangs. They say focusing on them is irresponsible, since it fuels moral panic. Considering we're talking about rape, I think we can classify this as panic. They also say it's especially fueling the far right. Yes, the far right, who are at it again with their morally reprehensible take that rape is bad. The media also cites fears of inflaming racial tensions and igniting race riots, and undoing, quote-unquote, community cohesion and the whole diversity is our strength message. I guess because whatever doesn't kill you and just horrifically assaults you makes you stronger. This is why a Channel 4 film on groomed white girls in Bradford was delayed back in 2004. There's also self-interest at play here. According to the report, authorities were afraid of being labeled racist or having their jurisdictions known for having a groomer problem. There's also politics. According to former Rochdale MP Simon Danczuk, former chair of Labour's parliamentary party Tony Lloyd and MP Jim Dobbin told him not to link Rochdale grooming gangs to their ethnicity, suspecting it was to keep votes. Too bad those girls weren't old enough to vote, then maybe they would have cared more about them. There's now a growing cry for a full national inquiry into the issue. Hopefully the odds of that happening are better than the Browns' chances of winning a Super Bowl. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Or on the comments section of our new website, AmericaUncovered.tv, where you won't be censored by YouTube. And have you ever wondered what's up with college professors and whips? I know I have. Check out my latest episode of Deep Thoughts While Gaming about what Indiana Jones teaches us about the life of your average college professor. Once again, I'm Chris Chappell. See you next time.